Hello, everyone. This is Dan. Welcome back to Eliza. In the last episode, we started playing as the character Evelyn. She is a person who just started a new job at a company called Skanda, who has an AI counseling service, and they use people as proxies as a human factor for their counseling services, which again uses AI. We're here after work with our friend Nora, who seems to have a show of some sort, and she's talking about how we as Evelyn have some kind of problem that we should probably disclose to our new employer. I left off there because it was getting to be a long video, but we are back now, and let's see how everything unfolds. So Evelyn says, I should probably tell them. I don't know. It's fun to have it be a secret. It's unkind to keep it a secret. Ooh. I don't know what the secret is, so I'm not sure which one I should pick. But most people keep secrets that hurt people, and that would be unkind to keep. I don't know that it's fun to keep certain things a secret. Convenient, maybe, but I guess we'll be honest in this case.
It's unkind to keep it a secret. I'm sure it'll get out eventually, one way or another.
Yeah, it probably will. Evelyn, how are you these days? I mean, really, how are you?
Seems like she's a really good friend. It's like, she doesn't want to hear just, I'm good, and just that's the end of it. She wants to actually know. I'm better, not by a lot, but still better. I'm not sure. Still the same. The vibe I'm getting from Evelyn is that she hasn't changed much. And she must be struggling through something, but I'm not sure what that is just yet.
Still the same, I think.
I knew you were working at that bookstore for a while, but other than that, it's like you dropped off the edge of the planet.
Well, I wasn't up to much.
I checked your social media once in a while, but nothing. Not that I blame you. I hate all those apps.
Yeah,
I deleted them.
I agree. I struggle to find the words to talk about what happened, but they don't come.
I don't know what happened. It's like
There's something dark in my mind blocking me when I try to go there. A void.
I guess I'm still not ready to talk about it yet.
It's okay. Take the time you need.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Evelyn. I knew you were in a difficult place after what happened, and I wanted to say something. But I worried that maybe you don't want to hear from anyone from your past.
A traumatic
maybe you
experience.
wanted to be left alone and not reminded of the old job.
Oh, something bad happened at the old job. Wow. I wonder what that was. I wonder if these options allow us to have her talk about it, or if they're kind of just words to move the conversation on. Let's just go with this one. It's fairly in the middle.
It's nice to know you were thinking of me.
Well, I'm glad. I was kind of going through a lot myself last couple years.
That's right. What about you? How is your life these days? What's it like being a rock star?
It's a lot of work, actually.
Rockstar.
I have to prepare for the show next week. I have 2 collaborations ongoing, and I'm applying for funding for another, a big one. I'm also advising on an art activism group that makes art installations to challenge people to think about the ways technology is affecting their lives.
Damn.
Oh yeah, and I'm working on this, kind of like it's a granular synthesis engine, but with a new twist to it.
Damn, girl.
Interesting.
Granular synthesis. Sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's a way to make sounds out of smaller sounds called grains. Maybe it's better to show you than to explain in words.
Wow, she seems like she's got her life together. She's got a lot going on, and she's like doing a lot of stuff, but it sounds like she's really excited about it. Yeah, she sounds like she's busy but happy.
Sounds like you're busy, but happy.
Yeah, it's good. I make less money than I used to, but I don't care.
Sometimes
Old
passion
me
gets you
might have
through.
worried about that. Not anymore, though. Sometimes I do take a little contract coding work, but I'm making most of my rent with booking fees and selling music and so on. Kind of crazy. Kind of scary, but good.
Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes, like, it's worth making a little bit less to be happy, because you could make more but be in a job that you absolutely hate, and then what is life? If it makes you happy, it seems worth it. I agree 100% with that. If you're happy, then it's worth it. Especially if you can still survive off of it.
If it makes you happy, it seems worth it. Maybe I should consider moving in a direction like that.
You should. Listen, I hope you can get away from the industry too, at some point. Ah, that reminds me what I was going to tell you about. Our old boss is back on his bullshit.
Rainer? Soren?
Soren Lloyd Rose, celebrated psychologist, entrepreneur, and creepo.
Oh. So there was some kind of trauma at her old job, and her boss at her old job was a celebrated psychologist. I wonder if there was like some kind of like thing going on, and it relates to Skanda in the same way, because it's a counseling service. Yeah, but what does she mean by creepo?
Creepo?
Wait, he wasn't ever weird around you? Did I ever tell you about the time that he hit on me with a story about past lives and the thread of destiny?
That's a weird pickup line.
Wait, what?
Ugh, this is a good one.
Oh, please do
It was
tell.
early on when the team was still pretty small, 7 or 10 people maximum. He'd gone out with some executives to dinner, and who knows what else. He came back to the office super late. I think it was like at least 11, maybe later.
What were you
And
doing
the
there?
whiskey smell was just surrounding him. Like he jumped into a whiskey bathtub with his clothes on. Maybe he'd like to do that, I don't know. Anyway, I was still there for some reason. I was
Yeah.
in the crunch mindset.
Ah,
He came over to my desk and started to mumble about, I don't even know how to describe it, just this nonsensical rambling. He started by saying how much he hated businessmen, how ridiculous they are, that they don't know anything. He said that a few times. Then he said he could see my soul, that I was like a reincarnated spirit of, I don't remember, he said some name.
Like a person's name?
Like a mythological name. I
What?
didn't hear it very well, but it was like a Buddhist spirit or deity or something like that. Then he goes
jeez.
on to say how he and I, all of us on the team, we're all these reincarnated spirits sent to relieve human suffering at the end of the world. And we're connected by a thread of destiny that draws us to each other again and again over multiple lifetimes. He talked about it like it was just like a red string you could see. So I'm thinking, is this like some kind of pickup technique? You know, how people will talk to you and say, oh, you are the reincarnation of an ancient goddess or something. Ugh, just because they are horny.
I could see that happening, but I don't know. In this instance, it doesn't sound like he was hitting on her, because unless like there's some stuff that she left out, but I think he actually believes that. Honestly, it kind of sounds like the story of like Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and how like they're intertwined in destiny over and over again. So maybe it's a little bit like that. I wonder if that actually is a thing that comes to pass in this game.
Oh, yeah, totally. Guys will try anything.
He went on some more like that for a while, and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to leave, but he was blocking me where he was standing. So I couldn't simply go. I had to keep listening to him. Finally, he mentioned that he would be open to the possibility of sleeping with me. And then he passed out on the couch immediately.
Okay, there
You're
we go.
Kidding.
There it
No,
is.
not at all. Of course, we never talked about it after that. Certainly, I would not bring it up. I wonder if he even remembers. Nothing like that happened again. But I think it was because I took care to not be around if it seemed like he was going to be drunk at the office. I wonder if he's still that way. I'm sure he is.
Wow.
And now he's back. Isn't it exciting? He messaged me
Yay.
the other day wanting to talk to me about some new startup he's putting together.
He left Skanda?
He's planning to. It's a secret for now. He asked me to join, and I said, no, there's absolutely no way. Maybe a long time ago, I'd be interested in a chance to start a new company with someone famous like Soren at the top. You know, a time when I'd put up with his shittiness because I believed in what we were doing. Change the world, you know the speech. Or, if we didn't change the world, at least we might get rich trying. I don't think that way anymore. I'm tired of the tech business. I'm tired of what guys like him represent. This industry can have fun eating itself and everything around it, causing as many problems as it solves. I don't want to be a part of it. It took me a while to see it, but I feel some responsibility for the world we live in now.
You've really changed, Nora.
It doesn't feel like I've changed. It just feels like I know more about myself than I used to. I want to be creative, be myself to the maximum. Now I know you weren't lying about leaving social media because I posted about this. A lot.
Yeah, I guess I missed it.
A lot can happen in 3 years.
Absolutely.
Now I just hope maybe I could talk to other people who are in the same situation I was in. I want young people, especially women, to know that yes, it is possible to get rich by working with guys like Soren. But there is a big cost too. I mean, there's always a cost. Maybe a cost you didn't think about before. Or maybe it's a cost you thought you would be okay with paying, but then when the debt comes due, you realize, oof, it's bigger than you thought.
Like student loans? I wonder what the cost was
Now
for her.
that's my conclusion. But you, on the other hand, you should go and say hello to him.
To Soren.
Yeah, he's giving this big keynote talk next week, you know? It's the reveal of his new startup. Many people will be watching.
So, all right, so that was a lot there. So, Soren was the old boss, but at the same time, Evelyn says Soren left Skanda. But if he was the old boss, did Evelyn previously work for Skanda, and now she's working with them again as a contractor? Like, what's going on there? I don't know. But in any case, it sounds like Nora's got her stuff together. She really does. And she's really found who she is, which is admirable. Very admirable, because it doesn't look like they're all that old. They're in tech. Well, mostly. Nora still dabbles to get by on what she makes for her music, but she's really doing what she really enjoys and doing what she doesn't enjoy quite as much just to get by, just enough. And it sounds like Evelyn is just trying to make do with where she is in her life and how she fits into the grand scheme of everything. But maybe her friend Nora can help her out, because she sounds like she's been there and has finally found her way. But yeah, it sounds like Soren hasn't done anything in particular to Evelyn, so maybe we should see what he's up to. I mean, he didn't do anything to us, and who knows, maybe that whole like thing wasn't to pass at her until the very end. But like, you know, drunk people, they say stuff.
Maybe I should find out what he's up to now.
It will be interesting, don't you think? You're already working as a proxy for Eliza. That must be giving you some new perspectives. Now you'll get to see what Soren believes the next step is. Don't tell me you're not the least bit curious.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I am. It's free to attend?
Of course not. It's at one of those conferences you pay
my
thousands of dollars to
God.
get into. But lucky for you, I have an all-access pass.
Okay.
Here, take it.
I was just
Really?
about to ask
Are you
Nora.
sure?
Yeah, he had one sent to me. As if there's any way I would go to a snake person convention like that.
And you want us to go? Like, oh man, like, okay, I was saying like you sound like a good friend, but now you're like, oh, this is a room full of snake people, and hey, buddy, you should go. Yeah, you should go instead. I would never be caught dead at one of these, but you know, you should go. Yeah. Girl, really? For real?
Snake person.
Yeah, you know. People who are like snakes, venture capitalists, biz dev.
If you're so against it, why do you think I should go?
Because
Exactly.
I already made my decision. You need to go make yours. You're coming out from the cave you were in for the last 3 years, and you need to decide what you're going to do next, right?
That's true. Nora leans over the table toward me, a serious look in her eyes.
Evelyn, you're one of the smartest people I've met in my whole life. I'm serious. I've seen the way you approach things like this. You're going to research and learn as much as you can. And only then, when you feel like you know enough, you'll make your decision. Isn't that right? You have more to contribute to the world, but you want to know you're contributing the right things in the right way. I've always admired that about you. Anyway, I should get going. I have a rehearsal for a show to get to. It was really good to see you, though. Really, really good. I promise not to be a stranger anymore, okay?
Nora dashes off to her rehearsal. She's a busy person now. Busy but happy, it seems like. Is that the secret? Keep yourself busy? That's interesting, because in a way, I feel like Evelyn, in that, like, before I make a big decision, I like to do a lot of research and try to make the right decision. You know, when I say right, I use air quotes, because not every decision has a right and wrong. Just like anything in life, there's always a gray area. But I feel like Evelyn, has taken this to another extent where she can't make a decision for herself for her own life, past researching everything she can about it right off. So that's something that I can't relate to. I'm sure there's a lot of people who can, but that's a different thing for me, and I don't know that I can relate, but I can appreciate the struggle that she's going through. The barista here seems like a nice enough guy. He wrote Nora's name Lola, though. That happens at Starbucks, too. He must have misheard it. I believe he probably did. It's nice to know this is an option. The tea and coffee at the counseling center didn't look so inspiring. Am I being a snob? Yes. Yes, you are. Komorebi. I wonder what that means. I should try to study Japanese again. One more thing that fell away. So it sounds like she does keep herself busy. It's just I guess she doesn't find interest in things, or doesn't keep interest long enough to really get things done. All right. Meredith M. Mercer. Kabufuda solitaire is hard. There's a reason they're called patience games. The trick is not to get ahead of yourself. Sometimes what seems like easy forward progress is actually something that's going to get you irrevocably stuck. You know, like life. Think carefully before each move, and you'll start winning games. I remember you had a good head for this kind of thing back in school, so I dare say you might just need to get into that mindset again. You can do it. M3. Meredith M. Mercer. Dramaturge and game designer extraordinaire. Saitama, Japan. So, that is a thing. You know, sometimes things seems like they're going easy, and you've got the easy life, but if you just let yourself get swallowed up in that, life is going to hit you hard. So you do need to think about things before you do them. You can't just, like, you could try living your life on the seat of your pants, in my opinion, but also in my opinion, I feel like that is inevitably going to get you doomed, or get you into a place where you're not ready to deal with. But if you think ahead, you can plan out for the inevitable consequences. But that's just me. But also, like, there is a point where if you try to plan too much, you end up not making a decision. You end up not doing anything at all, and that's just as bad. Peter Gerd. All right. So, all right. So he forwarded something, or replied to something. Hey, seems like my original message might have gotten lost in the shuffle. Believe me, I know how it is. So I'm looping back around on this. Any interest in speaking with me about the origins of parametric therapy and Eliza in particular? See below. So the message that was forwarded is greetings. I'm trying to track down a certain Evelyn Ishino-Aubrey, who was one of the principal developers of the Eliza system from Skanda. Is that you? If not, apologies and please ignore. That okay. This is the big secret. It's that she was one of the principal developers of Eliza. She helped create Eliza for Skanda. And that's why Nora was like, "Hey, you think you should tell them?" Yeah, she helped write it. Ah, geez, okay. That comes into perspective now. I'm something of a cultural commentator who's looking to write about the early origins of parametric therapy and where it's gone from there. Does it deliver on its promise? What do the people who worked on it think of it now? On a more general level, how has introducing increasing levels of automation into human life affected us? There are some well-known names that seem to grab all the press and speaker slots when it comes to the subject, but I'm interested in speaking with people who might have a different perspective, maybe a more skeptical or even subversive perspective. If you're willing to participate, just let me know and we can set up something in person or online, whichever works best for you. It could be a great opportunity for you to get your side of the story out there. Peter Gerd, writer, agitator. I don't know, that's something that you want to put into your signature. But wow, okay. That's a crazy twist there. And I guess she's very unhappy with where she is because like she helped develop this AI, but it just I don't know. It just it isn't working out for her the way that she would have liked it to, maybe. She wanted to change the world, like Nora said. She probably feels like it's not a change for the way that she feels that she would have wanted for the world. Like it was a bad decision. Because just like that first guy, it's making people feel like they're disconnected from everything else in life and in the world. Wow, that's an interesting twist there. What a day. Been a while since I've done that much in a single day. At least now I can relax. Hey Evelyn, it's Ray from the office. Just curious, what kind of cookies do you like? Cookies? Yeah. Oh, hmm. Maybe I'll just put in what I like. I like oatmeal raisin. Yes, I'm weird. I don't care. I mean, macadamia nut white chocolate chips are good. Peanut butter cookies are good. Chocolate chip, yeah, everybody loves chocolate chip, but I don't know. I like oatmeal raisin. Probably very poor choice for me. Interesting. I bake cookies for the team now and then, and I try to mix it up so everyone gets their favorite at least once. That is really nice of her. Ah, it's no big deal. The thing about baking is once you start, it's pretty easy to just keep going. You have everything out, so you might as well do multiple batches, and the cleanup takes more or less the same amount of time. Okay, well, if you like baking, yes. I am a terrible baker, so I don't like baking. So, but I will agree that with, at least with, um, I guess if they use a lot of the same ingredients and you're using a lot of the same mixing bowls and stuff, yeah, it doesn't take as much time to do just a little bit more. Yeah. Let's go with this one. She doesn't seem like she's a cook baker type person. Evelyn, I mean. But I don't know. It sounds like Evelyn's going through some depression right now. She's got like low motivation. She seems like she's like lethargic, probably. She's dissociated herself from a lot of society for the past 3 years. So maybe she's struggling with that. It's fun. Well, sure, if you're good at baking, maybe. Baking, huh? Cooking in general is something I feel like I could try to get better at some point. So nice to see you today. Good seeing you too. Mmm. We should do that more often. Yeah, we should. I know I said I don't miss working at a big company, but I do miss our old crew sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you may hate your job, but you love the people that you work with, and that makes the job bearable. I write software for myself now. It's so much better. Come to my show, though. You're coming, right? Please come. Please, please, please. Nora. What? Okay, I will go to your show. Yes! She's trying to be a good. Okay, now I'm really exhausted. Why is even just texting with people is such an effort? Yeah, that's why. That's part of the reason why I think she's like suffering from depression or something. Those have been sitting there like that for a long time. I meant to put them up. Not sure what I'm waiting for. I don't really feel like doing anything. What happened? I used to have so much energy. I'd stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning writing code. Then I'd be up again at 8, ready to pick up right where I left off. I'm not sure who that person was. Like, people who have depression just don't feel like getting up and doing anything that it's worthwhile to try to push themselves, and it's it's tough, like you want to do things, you'd like to do things, but you just can't get yourself up out of bed to do them. Is this a PS2? Kind of looks like it. I should tidy up the shelves at some point. Some of these books still spark joy, don't they? I hope they do. Yeah, okay. Increasingly, I'm feeling like she has depression. Some of these clothes I've had since college. Wish I could reinvent myself like Nora. Not that I would know how. I don't. People say that all the time. Like, I wish I could reinvent myself. I wish I could be a different person. I wish I could be. Wish I could be somebody else. But even even if like that was the case, like I don't think it's the right call. And even in this case with Nora and the way she's talking about Nora, I don't think Nora reinvented herself. I think that's poor phrasing. I think what really happened is Nora allowed herself to be who she is. I think she was putting up a facade or putting up a front face to make people feel like she fit in or fit in a certain way, but really deep down she is the person who she is now, and that's who she is, not who she was before. Maybe some of the mannerisms, some of the personality, but how she is who she is now, and that's not reinventing yourself, that's allowing yourself to be the person that you are. And I feel like a lot of people should be like that, unless you're a serial murderer. Yeah, in that case, don't be who you are. I was just looking at these shelves as I was kind of rambling on, and it looks like she's got manga right here. And these look like Cisco CCNA books. So, looks like she's a geek, a nerd maybe, which says a lot about me since I'm recognizing these things as that. But yeah, she's got a pretty decent looking place. When she must have made some money back in the day. I'll just get to bed now. Chapter 2. One Mind 2.0. Escalating the Wellness Revolution. No wonder Nora didn't want to come here. I'm not sure I could take something like this seriously myself. Maybe that's why Soren is successful and I'm not. Am I late? Looks like the talk is already happening. Looks like we got a couple of notifications. Ugh, this place is packed. I'll just stand at the back.
To get back to my original point, the current state of the art is AI-driven counseling, typified by apps like Eliza. Let's talk about the model here for a second.
He looks a bit haggard. I wonder if he's okay.
It all begins with data. You collect all the data you can. From base level metrics like heart rates, body temperature, blood pressure, to higher order metrics like hand movement, head movement, gaze aversion. If the client lets you, you'll want to pull from their digital life too, their message histories and email, their search histories, and online behavior. It's all potentially valuable. Then you compare the client's responses to relevant data from thousands of other clients and build a model of the client's psychological state. This approach has worked well so far. Eliza is still the best and most advanced version, but that's just my personal opinion.
A biased one.
For those of you who don't know, I was the team lead and chief psychologist for the Eliza project at Skanda for a number of years.
And that's why it's biased. Taking credit for all of it,
Now,
I see.
Even though this is a proven approach, there are two weaknesses I'm going to highlight. One is the data I was just talking about. You're completely dependent on that. Collect as much as you can, sure, but it's important to keep in mind that you can have all the data in the world and still not understand why things work the way they do.
That is the most important part.
And that's important for us to know, because if we have something that works, but we're not sure why, then what do we actually understand about ourselves?
Nothing.
The crucial step after data is the model. The data needs to be used to validate a model. If you can't make a model, you're finished. If that sounds like basic, obvious science to you, it is. But I was surprised to find out just how many people from the tech sector don't think this way.
True.
I suppose you don't need to understand why something works in order to make it into a product and sell it.
That's also true.
Obviously, though, if you had mastery of the underlying details, you'd be able to adjust the process and potentially make it work even better.
100%. The audience is getting impatient. Clearly, they're expecting something big.
One further note while I'm discussing modeling. Many of the startups trying to address mental health right now are completely ignoring the insights provided by the field of traditional psychology. They do so at their own peril. Many of you know already, but as a brief personal aside, I was a professor of psychology before I joined the tech world. I'm continually stunned at how little the tech heads know or even care about the hundreds of years of psychological research that has gone on in my field.
Because it's a different field, bro.
That's something I can talk about at length, perhaps another time. For now, I'll move on to the other weakness I mentioned. This is the real one, the big one. It's treatment.
Wow, yeah, that's definitely
a system like
a big
Eliza
part.
can tell what's wrong with a client to a certain level of accuracy, but it doesn't quite know how to turn that into a comprehensive treatment plan.
I noticed that.
It can suggest therapeutic programs and activities, and soon it might even issue its own prescriptions without having to go through a doctor or a psychiatrist.
Ugh.
Well, as long as the FDA continues to look upon us favorably. But those are blunt instruments compared to what I'm going to talk about next.
Okay. Maybe this is it. Is he going to go somewhere with this?
Many of you know there's a technology still in its infancy called direct stimulation.
That's what she said.
For those of you who haven't heard of it, direct stimulation is a way of creating sensations within the brain with targeted electrical impulses. Imagine an augmented reality headset, but instead of working on your eyes, it stimulates the brain in such a way as to induce a specific dream. A spring meadow, for example. This sounds fantastical, I know, but progress on this technique has been occurring faster than you think. We're actually quite close to a workable demonstration model. How is that possible? Well, first of all, we only suggest an overall feeling. Your own brain does most of the work, just as it does in your dreams. It fills in all of the visual details using its own set of memories and expectations.
Ah, so this is what everyone came to hear.
Induced dreams via direct stimulation can contain all the therapeutic content of VR therapy without the need to create realistic graphics or other content. Instead, it harnesses the brain's creative power to dream up the situation for itself.
Interesting twist.
Combine that with the insights we gain from parametric therapy systems like Eliza, and you have a complete end-to-end, fully automated system.
Ooh, that sounds very...
It should be clear now that this heralds a revolution in how we treat, how we think about mental health. And with mental health challenges on the rise across the globe, it couldn't come at a more crucial time. So, that's why today, right here, I'm announcing Aponia, a new company to make induced dreaming a reality and end human suffering as we know it. I should note that I remain on good terms with Skanda. In fact, they're a minority investor in this new venture. But still, I'm very much going my own way on this. It's no secret that Raynor and I don't always agree, and that's why we mutually decided I should pursue this paradigm shift on my own. As for details on the venture itself, I don't have anything specific to announce at this time other than that the technology is real and working in prototype form already. But you can be sure to hear more from me on that soon. Thank you.
As Soren finishes up, people hold up their phones to take photos and video. This feels more like a press conference than a talk.
Now, I can take a very limited number of audience questions.
The crowd starts to surge toward him. He's going to be mobbed. My plan to find him after the talk isn't going to work. I need to get out of here. Ugh, I don't know what I was thinking coming to this. Whatever my element is, this is not it. I should just get out of here before anybody recognizes me. Except, as I attempt to do that, I happen to spot another man I know. He emerges from an elevator in the lobby just as I walk by. I keep my head down. Maybe he won't see me. Surely he's busy and distracted, right?
Well, look who's here. It's like I've seen a ghost.
Raynor. Yalren Raynor Sai, Chairman and CEO Skanda Corporation.
Good to see you too, Raynor.
Where are you these days? I lost track after you left us.
Nowhere.
Nowhere? Well, nowhere is no place to be. Come by the new office sometime. You should see where we're taking Eliza.
It looks like she's going to agree either way. So, the way she's feeling, I think she would hesitantly agree.
Okay.
Good. Sarah will set something up for next week.
He glances at the person standing behind him and to the side of him, presumably Sarah. She nods almost
See
imperceptibly.
you then.
I agreed before I could even think about it. What's all this about? What does Raynor want with me? He didn't interact much at all when I worked there. I didn't think he would even remember me. I've hardly done anything and things feel like a tangled mess already. That's how it is. There's a lot of people that they don't realize how important they are. And when somebody brings it up and they're faced and have to confront with the fact that they're more important than they think, it's like, what are you talking about? This is crazy. But also, companies tend not to realize your importance or your value to them until you're gone, and the people that are left behind cannot do what you do. And then they realize, oh, that person was much more important than I thought, and now we just have to deal. And I think that's why he wants to bring her back in, because he probably wants to do something bigger, something more. Soren's talk is being broadcast here. Seems like he really made waves. I'm sure that was his intent, so good for him. Yeah, he's proposing something that is incredibly large, incredibly ambitious, but also, in my opinion, incredibly dubious. Like, allowing a computer to come up with treatments, and an AI to come up with treatments at that, it just feels like it's a recipe for disaster. Maybe I've seen too many movies, but having a impartial, unemotional thing come up with plans to quote unquote fix you, that just seems off when that fix has to do with your emotions and how you interact with people. It just seems, I don't know. It just seems really odd for me. A lot of tech companies have become interested in mental health lately. That's because it's a huge problem globally, and there are a lot of people that want to try to get into this field, into the arena for solutions, because it would be a potentially huge market, while under the guise of trying to help people. It's a fast-growing field now, yeah. Or maybe it's just the gold rush. I would say gold rush. Conferences like this always make me nervous. I feel like everyone is looking at me, even though I know they're probably not. I need to get out of here. Yeah, I'd say is that she's definitely not, like, having people look at her. It's just that's how she feels. Which, you know, that's how some people are sometimes. Chris Manzoni. Bookstore. Went to Magus Books today, and Shelley told me you don't work there anymore. Made me sad. You were the best part of going to that store. I always appreciated your presence there. Best of luck in your new endeavors, wherever they may take you. Ah, sounds like it's somebody who she made a slight acquaintance with, enough to get email for? Mary Aubrey, is this her mom? Yeah, Mom. Are you still mad at me? Nevertheless, I hope you are doing well. Mom. The Redmond Post. Eliza Counseling Services to be introduced in Redmond Middle and High Schools. Redmond School District partners with Skanda to detect and address mental health issues in students, by Jasmine Hurling. Skanda and the Redmond School District are partnering to roll out Eliza, a mental health evaluation and counseling tool for all middle and high school students. Conversations with the virtual counselor will screen students for risk factors, identify the need for interventions, and support positive mood levels. Other King County school districts, including Bellevue School District and Lake Washington School District, are following suit with their own rollout plans. Eliza is an AI-driven controversial tool to support mental health developed internally by Skanda. While the Seattle-based company's counseling centers are well known for employing human proxies between the AI and the client, the school implementation will take the form of a web-based chat interface. These kids are more used to sharing information about themselves in text-based conversations than adults are, so that's what we zeroed in on as the best mode of interaction for this particular application, says Edwin Park, Service Director of the Eliza program at Skanda. They aren't wrong. I find more and more, increasingly, people of the younger generation feel more comfortable text-based, or even today image-based, more than they do having a personal interaction. And I think that's a failing of our society, because there are things that a personal interaction has that you can never emulate with text form. And if you look on internet forums and sites and comments and stuff like that, you will instantly see what I'm talking about. You'll say something, or I guess write something, and it will be taken completely out of context. But with the human factor behind it, you can see somebody's affect, you can see somebody's posture, the mood, and you can get a better sense and context around what they're saying. Although, I guess there are people that have mental issues such as, Asperger's, where they can't tell at all. And, yeah. But still, like, kids in middle and high school definitely need counseling, whether they know it or not, because that's a very tough time for these adolescents, and it's very confusing. It's very new, experiencing all these new emotions, sometimes for the first time. And yeah, I think they need some guidance, just to have an AI do it, especially as As Soren was saying, it can't provide treatments. It can refer treatments to you from others who are more specialized. But if you're not providing a treatment and you're only providing an outlet to express, it can only help so much. You need to have treatment in addition. Anyways, back to the email. Conversations with Eliza take about 10 to 15 minutes each and will be required. Required? But not limited to one conversation every 2 weeks. Students exhibiting high risk factors will be referred to a suite of potential interventions, including connections with community success mentors, additional counseling, or psychiatric evaluation. Eliza's tracking capabilities will be able to provide a full picture of students' mental state over the school year and eventually over the course of their lives, says Roland Orwing, Executive Director of Student Services for the district. This, he explains, is an important factor in detecting potential problems in students who may otherwise seem normal on a day-to-day basis. That is the thing. Mental health is, it's fairly invisible. People don't know that you have a disorder, and it's something that you can easily hide because it's not something that's easily visible usually in a physical state. The goal here is to find the kids that are most at risk and take proactive steps to get them the tools and support they need to grow into happy and productive members of society, says Orwing. This is a complex problem with an evolving solution set. Eliza is just one facet of what is a bigger issue involving not only the kids but their families, our teachers, and the wider community. Redmond Post, Global Local Publishing. This right here, there's a lot to unpack here. Yeah, there's some kids, like, they have a lot of issues and they don't know how to deal. And if you leave them to find their own coping mechanisms, it can be good or it could be bad. But some people just need help and they don't know that they need help, or they don't know how to ask for help or seek out help. And this is really important. And having it occur in your formative years can really change the way that your adult life opens out. So this is important, but I feel like it's a step too far, I think, at least for me, because especially since, like, it sounds like Eliza, the program itself, is incredibly new, and there was only one, maybe two psychologists working on it, because Soren was the lead one, but that could just be a title. I don't know if there were other ones that helped in it, but even if that were the case, it's very controversial. I mean, people think therapy itself is controversial, and that's a thing. Andreas Chupp. Reminder, contractor parking. To all Seattle area contingent staff. Due to limited space, contractors, including Eliza proxies, are not issued Skanda parking passes. Do not attempt to park in Skanda lots without a pass. Your vehicle will be towed. Please find street parking around the area or use one of the many mass transit options available. We are aware parking is an issue and are looking into securing additional parking at our Queen Anne and Bellevue locations, but currently there is no timetable for extra spaces becoming available. Apologies for the inconvenience. Andreas Chupp, VP Facilities. Ed Park, session structure, one more try. Valued proxies. I've continued to receive questions about how proxies should interpret and work with Eliza's counseling phases. Here's one more attempt at explaining it. Sessions are built around a 5-part structure. I saw this during the time here. Eliza begins with an introductory phase to build the rapport and build a psychological state model of the client. Listen actively during this phase, as clients are able to tell if the provider proxy is uninterested. Your performance should be smooth and natural. During the discovery phase, Eliza transitions to the topic of the client's problems and begin to introduce probing questions. Be attentive to the client and speak your lines in a clear but gentle manner. As the client answers questions, Eliza detects the client's rationalization and/or explanatory strategies. Eliza will then challenge the client's assertions with the goal of inducing the client to reevaluate their current notions. Remain neutral during this phase and do not adopt a confrontational speaking style. Yeah, really good therapists will speak in a neutral manner. You can have thoughts, you can have opinions, but keep them to yourself. Unless you have a YouTube channel. But yeah, to help people, you can't judge people, because judging people is hurting them. And like a lot of times, some people's problems is that they feel judged. They don't want to be judged. And they need a safe space for them to be able to express themselves because they haven't found a way to be comfortable doing so. And so giving them a neutral environment that neither is positive or negative may make them feel more open and comfortable to be able to express what's going on. In the intervention phase, Eliza selects one or multiple interventions from its toolkit of cognitive exercises, therapeutic applications, and recommendations for prescription medicine. At the session conclusion, the client is asked to rate the experience. The proxy provider receives the client feedback as well as performance-based incentives as determined by Eliza. Be cheerful during this phase so clients feel comfortable with the idea of returning to Eliza soon. Hope this helps. Ed. Edwin Park, Eliza Service Director, Skanda Inc. It feels like part of this email is to increase business and get more people to return, more so than it is to help the proxies actually help people, in my opinion. Time to head back to work. Oh, so she missed work for this. At least I don't have to think to do my job. True, you're just reading from a script. All right, next client. All right, let's get prepared for this. All right, Gabriel Navarro.
Hello, Gabriel.
Hi.
Hope you didn't get rained on too much on your way here.
A little, but it was fine. I'm used to it.
Oh, for those of you asking why it keeps asking about the rain, I hear that in Seattle it rains quite a bit. I listen to some podcasts. Some of them talk about or center around Microsoft, and they talk about how every time they go, it's raining. It's raining a lot in Seattle and stuff like that. So, just in case you were wondering, like, is this London? Well, apparently, Seattle is very similar in that they get a lot of rain. Apparently.
Most people here seem to get used to it, yes.
Yeah, they have to, don't they? Not much
Exactly.
of a choice unless you move away.
And that's what I'm talking about.
So, what brings you here today?
Well, I don't know where to start. I've never really done this kind of thing before, counseling.
That's okay. Start wherever you like.
Well, I'm about to be a father. Yeah, my wife is due in a few months. Congratulations. That's what everyone says. Congratulations, congratulations. I get this tension, this restless feeling when people say that. It's like a curse or something. Congratulations.
Sounds like you might be uncertain about that.
Maybe. I've tried to be a good husband, and I'm going to do my best to be a good father too, but I don't know. There's something bothering me about... I'm balancing a lot of things right now. Work, family, expectations. Everyone has something they want from me. Everyone wants me to do this or that, behave a certain way. It's just annoying being a father. What if I don't want this?
It's kind of a little late for that now, man.
Why do you think you might not want this?
We all have things we don't talk about, things we would rather keep secret.
Okay, here we go.
Things that might upset our families if they knew about them.
Are you
It's
gay?
unfair.
Well, what's
That's what
up?
I'm saying. It's unfair that we expect each other to be perfect when there's more going on. I can't stand it when people act like they're pure, like they've never touched a bad thing in their whole lives. And then these people around me think they can tell me how to act, what I'm supposed to do, and I'm like, yo, don't you know you have your own shit to deal with? Why do you have to pick on me all the time? This whole
like
fatherhood
hypocrisy.
thing is you know what being a father is to me? It's about providing and protecting, taking responsibility. The world is dangerous, and sometimes the dangers can be hard to see. My duty is to protect. I'm going to take that seriously.
And you
Everything
should.
I do, I take it seriously. So,
Yeah, man.
I don't get why people are worried about my ability to do that.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's how they're taking it, but that's how he's taking it. I guess I could see that. He's very sensitive to criticism, and he's taking everything they're saying as criticism.
What makes you think people are worried about your ability to do that?
Because everyone thinks I'm trying to escape my responsibilities. Everyone is so quick to judge. Here's a story, okay? The other day, Selena, that's my wife, Selena and I were at a get-together. Her family, my family, a few families we both know, right? Grilling out on the back deck, you know, that kind of thing. Everyone was more or less chill, right? But then late in the afternoon, the baby stuff starts coming up. Once one of them brings up babies, it's just all babies all the time. Babies. And because of my wife, they start saying, oh, giving birth is gonna hurt so bad. It might tear your skin. Just these kind of gross things.
But it's true.
So like, hey, quit it with that. I don't want to hear that kind of stuff. We're eating. There's kids around. Come on. And they're like, no, it's natural. It happens. Of course, we got to talk about all this terrible shit. How are you gonna have another kid if you can't even handle the first one? And I just say, excuse me?
That's
a second kid? Who even said we were gonna have two? I didn't even want the one.
Oh, there it
Maybe
is.
That was a mistake, but I mean, I was angry. It made me angry. It just got under my skin so bad, like I need to give my whole self over to this baby. What about me? What about my time? It's a really important thing for me, my time. Well, I'm just supposed to give that up? I've already sacrificed a lot, more than they can imagine. I give everything of myself away. Job, family, everyone wants me to be something for them until there's nothing left. But I can't talk about this stuff to anybody. They just say I'm being selfish. It's like what I want just doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is a thing that a lot of people face and a lot of people experience. They want you, and I'm talking to you, the individual, like watching right now. I'm sure you have experienced this in your life at some point. I can't think of anybody who hasn't. But everybody wants something from you, and they want you to be who they want you to be. They want you to do the things that they expect you to do, but at the end of the day, you can try to do everything for everyone at every time and at every turn, but you know, there's a saying, you can't pour from an empty pitcher. Like, you can give and give and give, but unless you receive back, you can't keep that up. It just doesn't work. Eventually, you're empty and you feel empty, you know? And if you're in a situation like that, do reach out, because sometimes people don't realize that all they're doing is taking, or in your perspective, they're taking and taking and taking, and they would be happy to give back if only they knew that they needed to do more of that. I wonder if this is the case for him.
Here's a question, Gabriel. If you were to have something you wanted right now, what would you choose?
Oh, I'd be far away from all this. Far away from everyone, just on my own for a while. Yeah, I just want to be away.
Sounds like he just needs time for himself. And here's the thing, like, yeah, you can have children and you can dedicate your lives to them, but I mean, you're still a person at the end of the day. And you may want to or need to sacrifice for your children, but that doesn't mean that you can't have time for yourself. You can't be who you are. It's tough. I don't know what that's like, but I've seen a lot of people, they can take time for themselves. I mean, you can get a babysitter for a day, you know, every week or whatever, have some time for yourself and just, like, you know, recenter.
Okay, Gabriel, I have some recommendations for you. First, I'm going to suggest you try a therapeutic virtual world experience called Starry Skies. It may help you take your mind off things.
Yeah, like an outlet.
Try it for about 15 minutes each day, in the morning or evening. Second, I recommend asking your doctor or psychiatrist about Anexafen.
There it is again, another drug recommendation.
Based on my analysis, this medication might help you feel better. You will get a reminder to check in with us in a few weeks.
That's it, huh? You can't just tell me what to do to solve this?
It's
Some help you turned out to be.
It's not
Guess I'll
always
have to
that
figure things
simple,
out for
man.
myself, exactly like before.
Dude, not everything can be solved so easily, especially when they're so complex. And it's your life, my guy. It's things that are happening to you. At the end of the day, it is on you to find the solution. Therapy and counseling are only there to help you along your journey, along your way, help you to get to the place that you want or you need to be. It's not there to hit you with a sexy, like, oh, you showed up for one time, the first time, and here is your solution that will solve everything in your life and make you 100% happy forever. That's just not how it works. Life is too complex for that. You can't go into a therapy session, your first one, and expect it'll be life changing. Granted, it could be that way, but you can't expect that because that's not how it works. At the end of the day, it's on you to make the changes that you need for your life. It's on you to find ways to deal and cope with life. It's not a simple, oh, do this, and this will fix you. There's no such thing.
Thank you, Gabriel. We hope to see you back soon. Thank you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner. Goodbye.
Yeah. But as you see, this is so complex. 2-star rating. Jeez. But he still tipped. So I don't know. That's a thing. Jeez, man. Jeez. Like, counseling and therapy is tough, but it also has this stigma too. And it's not always justified either. Crazy. That wasn't a very good rating. No, it wasn't. He was so closed off. Soren, thanks for coming to my talk. Wow, he saw her? You saw me? Saw you come in for a bit and leave before questions. Don't blame you. You caught the important parts anyway. Pretty interesting, huh? It was nice to see you. Been what, 2 years? 3 years. How do you think I did? Haven't done a talk in a while. Ugh. Let's be nice. What you're doing is intriguing. It is. Want to get dinner tonight? There's more to talk about. Details I couldn't share in public. I feel like he's trying to recruit her. Now, I know some people out there are going to think that, oh, he's hitting on her. But you have to remember, she was like one of the principal engineers to make Eliza, the AI program, because she's a high level coder, and she's very good at her job. And this guy Soren, he wants to do something new. It's a startup. It's something way out there, and it's gonna be computer based, obviously, because it's like, AI driven, and it's got all of these like engineering stuff that I can't even get into. I'm not smart enough to get into, but like, I am at least knowledgeable enough to know that he needs her for what he's going to be doing. So I feel like it's more of a recruiting than it is hitting on. Come on. This is strictly professional, so no need to worry. See you soon. and we ghost him. I wonder if that painting is supposed to symbolize something. Probably not. Technology and feelings combining together? No, I'm overanalyzing it. Yeah, you are. People have all kinds of problems. Problems I couldn't have imagined. Was I rash to believe I could help people without knowing who they were? I mean, the thing that she was doing is not the direct product. It's like people who design cars. Like they help people get from point A to point B and improve their lives in that way. But like if people are speeding, if the people are driving recklessly, that isn't the fault of the person who designed the car. It's just a tool. And Eliza is a tool at the end of the day, and she may have helped design and create the tool, but how it's used is not something that she can be in a place to administer because it's not a product owned by her. She just helped design it. So I don't think that that's necessarily how things are going. But uh, anyways, recording's going long. So what I think I'm gonna do here is I'm going to stop, and because especially since we're in between sessions now, so let's take a break. I think I'm gonna try to strictly keep these episodes to an hour in length, except for maybe the final one. I don't know how like where I'm gonna be. It doesn't look like I'm gonna need a guide, so I'm not gonna be able to tell whether I'm getting close to the end or not. I'm gonna have to rely solely on the internet being asked how long it's going to take to finish the game. But for me, I think it's going to take a little bit longer just because I pause here and there to give my view and perspective, which hopefully I've been doing a decent enough job that you find it entertaining or at least intriguing enough to continue watching. And if you do, I appreciate that. And I hope that you'll come back for the next episode. We'll continue on. And I find all of this really just interesting. I hope you do too. And yeah, let's meet up in the next one. And until then, bye.